Hi everybody! Today we are going to paint some floral animals, and the concept is really simple. We'll be combining techniques from these three previous projects: Easy Animals, Floral Portraits, and Tattooed Animal Series. It's all about blending what we've already explored and seeing what new results we can create. I have already transferred my sketch directly to the paper. If you want to revisit how we did that, just check the earlier exercises. This is more of a continuation. For the background, I'm using sage green and yellow ochre. It's going to be the same background for all the four images. The only difference is the main subject, of course, and the foliage that we are going to use to ornate. The bowl will be painted in brown and blue, which are complementary colors, and that will give a nice contrast. This first piece is more of an experiment. I didn't have the final image fully formed in my head yet, so I was figuring things out as I was going. I did the ornamental details freehand. They are simple, but afterward, I kind of regretted not using a thinner brush. It would have given a more delicate result. Lesson learned for the next time. The floral ornaments follow the same technique we used before: gentle pressure and letting the brush head shape the stroke. The flowers around the bowl are quite basic. They are there just to decorate and soften the piece. Overall, this might not be the best of the batch, but it was a great learning moment for the pieces to follow. Next, we have the dog, and I think this one turned out much better. It's based on the same sketch from the Easy Animals series, but with a new background. Originally, I planned to do these paintings in watercolor, but time was tight, so I went with acrylics, my go-to medium for quick drying and flexibility. Once the dog was painted and dry, I masked certain parts with masking tape to add the foliage. At first, I thought about adding flowers too, but it felt a bit too feminine. And while there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, I wanted more balance since the other animals will be quite more decorative. So I kept the florals to a minimum here for a more neutral feel, and it worked out well. Now into my favorite piece from this batch, the hair. I love how this one turned out. This time I started with the edges of the hair before painting the background, which helped keep things neat. Same background colors, same basic process. Background first, then the subject, then the florals. I originally wanted the entire piece to be painted flat, but I ended up adding highlights because it brought better depth to the compositions. You don't have to paint the lower body in detail. It'll be mostly covered with the foliage. Just give a suggestion of form. But do focus on the eye. That's the focal point. And if you get the eye right, the rest will follow. For the foliage, I tried a different type of leaf from the previous two. I did a few pencil markings here to guide the flow. Again, it's just about pressure. Firmer for thicker strokes and lighter for delicate ends. Make sure that the part of the leaf that touches the stem is thin. The white flowers worked especially well here, much better than the red ones that I used earlier. I also added some detail to a few petals for charm. It's optional, but I liked the effect. And that's it. Our hair is done, and I really love how this one came out. Okay, so the final project of the day is the fox. Same basic approach, sage green and yellow ochre background, then the fox, and then ornaments. This one turned out a little more youthful and playful, maybe something for a kid's room, I don't know, but it still complements the rest of the series as well. Please, 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 don't feel intimidated by this project just because it looks more detailed. Remember, each of these pieces is really just two layers of work, the animal and the decorative elements around it. It just takes a little more time, not more skill. We have already done all of this before, okay? If you decide not to add the foliage, I suggest blending out the lower part of the animal a little bit more so it feels more intentional and complete without any added detail. So here we are, our floral animals. I hope you enjoyed this practice and that you've learned something new today. As always, keep on practicing and thank you for joining us.